Hello, boys and girls. Our lesson for tonight is Lesson 3, Subtracting Fractions with Unlike Denominators. The learning goal is I can subtract fractions with unlike denominators. Make sure you put this at the top of your notes. We can also use a common denominator to find the difference of mixed numbers with unlike denominators. So we're going to find the difference, which means we're going to subtract our mixed numbers. But to do that, we have to make sure that we have common denominators. So first, I notice that I have 4 and 5/6. The denominator is 6, minus 2 and 3/4. My denominator is 4. So my denominators are different. We need to find common ones. Remember, to find a common denominator, we have to find common multiples. So let's list the multiples of 6. So counting by 6, 6, 12. I'm going to stop there because I know my counting numbers for 4 are 4, 8, 12. Well, the common multiple is 12. So I'm going to come put my 12 here as my denominator. That's going to be my new common denominator. Well, 4 times 3 is 12, and 3 times 3 is 9. And 6 times 2 gets me 12, so 5 times 2 is 10. Now, I'm going to subtract my fractions. I'm going to leave my mixed numbers or my whole numbers until the end. So let's subtract our fractions. 9/12 or 10/12 minus 9/12 is 1/12. And 4 wholes minus 2 wholes is 2 wholes. So my answer should have been 2 and 1/12. And I cannot simplify this because the numerator is 1, and when it's 1, it's done. When subtracting two fractions with unlike denominators, we follow the same steps you follow when you're adding two fractions. Instead of adding the fractions, we subtract. So our next problem is 9/10 minus 2/5. And then we're going to write our answer in simplest form if we need to. So go ahead and write 9/10 minus 2/5 in your notes and work this problem out with me. So I can see that we have different denominators, so we need to make them the same. Well, my multiples of 5 are 5, 10, and I'm going to stop there because I see that I have a denominator of 10 here, but my multiples of 5 are 5, 10. So that's going to be my common denominator. So I'm going to make my denominator a 10 here, and then I'm just going to bring my 9/10 over because he's already got a denominator of 10. I don't need to change him. So let's see how I got 10 to be my denominator. Well, 5 times 2 is 10, so 2 times 2 is 4. Now I can subtract. Make sure to circle your sign. 9/10 minus 4/10 is 5/10. So that's my answer. But remember, step 3 says to simplify if needed. Well, I know that 5 is half of 10, so that must mean that 5/10 is equal to 1/2. So that's my final answer. Let's look at our next problem. It says Alexa ate 6/8 of a pepperoni pizza on Monday and 1/2 of a pizza on Tuesday. How much more of a pizza did she eat on Monday than on Tuesday? So how much more is telling me that I'm going to have a subtraction problem. So go ahead and write 6/8 minus 1/2 in your notes. I want you to solve this problem on your own. Make sure to follow your steps. Find a common denominator, subtract the equivalent fractions, and then simplify if needed. So pause the video and work out this problem and press play when you're ready to go over the answer with me. Okay, when I found my common denominators for 6/8 and 1/2, I thought that it was 8. So I just had to subtract 6/8 minus 4/8. Well, that's 2/8. Now, 2/8 is even, so I could divide by 2. And when I divide by 2, I would get 2 divided by 2 is 1, and 8 divided by 2 is 4. So my final answer, when simplified, was 1/4. I hope you got that right. Let's go on to the next problem. Here's our next problem. Mario fills a hummingbird feeder with 3/4 cups of sugar water on Friday. On Monday, Mario sees that 1/8 of the cup of sugar water is left. How much sugar water did the hummingbirds drink? Well, I know that I'm trying to find how much they drank, and I know how much is left. So that means this is going to be a subtraction problem. So I should have 3/4 minus 1/8. Go ahead and write this down in your notes, and I want you to solve this on your own. Press pause to solve the problem, and then press play when you're ready to go over the answer. Okay, I saw that I had different denominators, so I need to find common denominators that are the same. So when I did my multiples, I found that 8 would be my common denominator. So I had 6/8, which was equal to 3/4, minus 1/8. And 1/8 just stayed the same because it already had a denominator of 8. So I had to subtract 6/8 minus 1/8. Well, that equaled 5/8. So the hummingbirds drank 5/8 of the sugar water. Okay, here are your homework problems for tonight. 3/4 minus 1/8 and 7 2/3 minus 6 1/6. Go ahead and work these out in your homework section of your notes. And when you get done with that, you need to assess yourself. Make sure you're telling me whether you feel like you're a novice, apprentice, practitioner, or expert. Here are the homework problems again. Good luck, and I will see you tomorrow for some fun practice. Bye.